Good afternoon. I think it's very clear to all of us who watched last night's very troubling live video by Debbie Cole that Sean Fielding and his team of politicians, led by Andy Burnham, have mobilised the police. And they have mobilised the police to harass and intimidate citizens of our town. Now, I speak regularly to police officers and they are disgusted by what is taking place. And it is clear that this mobilisation, their orders are not coming from the rank and file who are appalled at the rape and the grooming of our children, the same as you and I are. But these orders have come from high up in the police. And in Greater Manchester, at the top of the police chain is a man called Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham is Sean Fielding's friend, and Andy Burnham gave Sean Fielding's girlfriend a job that she is no way near qualified enough to do. But enough of that. Those who have successfully fought against tyranny, and this is tyranny. Let's be under no illusion. Just because it's happening in Oldham, in the United Kingdom, where we value our democracy, it doesn't matter. It might as well be Tehran. It might as well be somewhere in Saudi Arabia where they behead women and burn gay people. Because this is what we have here. With the way corrupt politicians are using the police force to protect themselves and to hide the criminality. So what do we have here today? Brian Hoban is heading into the town hall, a lone voice. He knows he has the best part of 50 councillors who detest him because he has exposed what they all are. He has the chief executive in Dr. Carolyn Wilkins and the borough solicitor Paul Bentwistle, who will do anything and everything they can to hide behind what is going on and try and make a scapegoat out of Brian. And at the same time, as we found out last night, we have a disabled grandmother that the courts have confirmed has a right to protest, being visited by a scumbag police officer, pretending to be nice. And I use that word intentionally. A scumbag police officer pretending to be nice. And from my conversations with other people who've had similar visits by the police yesterday, it is clear to me that the police are expecting a battle. And everyone who has defeated tyranny will tell you, we do not fight them on their terms at a time and location of their choosing. So my urge to all of you is not to play into their hands. Do not go to Kew Road tonight and protest. It's a dark, dismal December evening. By the time this is over, many of us will be arrested and thrown into prison cells. I have no doubt about that, and I do not fear that. But there is a time when we should be prepared to be thrown into prison cells. And today is not that time. Today, if we go and protest outside Kew Road, we achieve nothing. We've already exposed the police. They are now on the side of the tyrants. They are protecting Sean Fielding, who is hiding behind the skirts of his girlfriend, who is claiming she was harassed and intimidated by a disabled grandmother with a megaphone. We have seen, all of us have witnessed, the double standards of Greater Manchester Police. Many of you are victims of crime, desperately phoning the police, repeatedly phoning the police, and they've not turned up. 80,000 unrecorded crimes the police have been forced to admit in Greater Manchester. And what happened? At the click of a finger, not only are they there for some sham to protect Sophie Holworth, who works for the mayor, but at your expense, Sean Fielding has had this CCTV, state-of-the-art CCTV fitted in his house, and treats the police as his own personal bodyguards to be used as a political tool. I know the police officer friends of mine are embarrassed by this because they are not stupid and they can see what is going on. So my urge to all of you is, tonight is not the time to make this stand. Tonight is not the time to turn up to Q Road and have ourselves arrested on some trumped up charge and end up being distracted by having to fight for our own freedoms. Because let's be honest, this has never been about you or me or any of us. This has been about protecting and safeguarding our children from grooming and gang rape. And the complicity in this of corrupt politicians, such as Sean Fielding and his paymaster, Jim McMahon, Debbie Abrahams, and all of the cartels. So I know Debbie wants to go, and Debbie just phoned me, so I'm just going to put Debbie up. But please, don't give them what they want. We'll choose when to fight and how to fight. Hey, Debbie.
Hiya, Raja.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I just need to do something with my speaker to turn the speaker to the... There you go, that's better.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Debbie. You shouldn't go. You know why you shouldn't go? Because you have not been fighting for your right to protest. That's not what you've been fighting for. The right to protest is a tool through which you have your voice heard. And you have your voice heard. And not only have you had your voice heard and continue to have your voice heard, what's gone on, Debbie, is something very, very simple. You, by standing up to them, have exposed the police. You've exposed the police for their complicity in this corruption. Because that's what this is. The policeman who turned up at your door yesterday, Debbie, and I didn't see the live broadcast because I was feeding my daughter her tea, Debbie. So he turns up at your house, pretending to be nice. What a scumbag. What a disgraceful scumbag that man was. The same as the two other policemen who turned up at your door and threatened you, and came into your living room. And then they gave the witness statements to the council to, drag you through the courts. You have every right to be outraged at the treatment that you have endured. But what you should do, Debbie, is not play into their hands, because they look at you. And I know this because I've been sat in those rooms with those people. They look at you and they think you're a thick, white, working class woman that they can lure into a trap. And that trap would be for you to turn up tonight and to give them a reason to arrest you. That just silences you, Debbie. We don't want you silenced. We want you campaigning on the front line and holding these people up to account. And today, on a dark December day, is not the day to go and stand outside his house. Let Brian Hoban do whatever he does in the town hall, and let all of us tune in to this meeting. Now, I've seen so many people engage with you, Debbie, on some of these posts, and maybe it's because I come from a different place and I've had a different set of experiences. But you know what I despise equally as much as the paedophiles and the paedophile protectors? Is that those who would feed people like you to the lions for their entertainment. And they'll goad you on, and when the fight comes and you look to your left and you look to your right and you look behind you, these people are nowhere to be seen. But they'll have been egging you on. Don't fall for these people any more than the likes of Sean Fielding. Whatever you do, Debbie, don't go tonight. Don't go tonight. I implore you, don't go tonight.
Listen, can I just say something? Last night when the police attended at my house, I weren't in my best because I'd literally had a tooth out and I still had a numb mouth and what have you. I was hilarious last night. However, The mere fact that those police officers came to my door last night to intimidate me and try and get me not to go and protest peacefully outside Sean Fielding's house, I already won.
Yeah, and you've already won. The minute and you saw the embarrassment on his face, yeah? You saw, because he knows, and I've called him a scumbag. And sorry, there's someone called Sue Fink who's posting us saying, don't call police officers scumbag. Sorry, Sue. When the police officer holds a baton and is beating up innocent people who are protesting for the right, look at that picture, look at that statue of Annie Kenny. How shameful it is that all of them go and stand underneath that. What do you think the police did to Annie Kenny? Go and read the reports. Go and read the secret histories, if you can, of what they did to those suffragettes. They took them away. They hid them behind corners and they battered them and they raped them. They sexually abused them. All of that is hidden in our history, and now we put statues up. But that's what the police did. 100 years ago, that's what the police did. And again, 100 years later, and this isn't me attacking the rank and file of the police. This is because these police officers are being forced by corrupt politicians to go and abuse innocent people. Sorry, Debbie, you're putting something up, so you might as well read it, because I can't see it properly, so you might as well read it.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Justice for our children, right? There's been many children in Oldham that have been raped and battered and bitten and spat on and used and abused and trafficked.
Yes.
All up and down the northwest and up and down this country.
And let our pride, Debbie, and let our pride take a hit. We're not proud people. We don't care.
Did not hit my pride.
They can take everything away from you and me. Let them. But we will not let our pride get in the way of fighting for justice.
No. This leaflet will go through every door in Failsworth.
And we will make sure that leaflet will go through every door in Failsworth. I've spoken to Mark. I've spoken to the Failsworth Independent Party. Not only will that leaflet, they'll support that leaflet, they'll incorporate the key messages in that leaflet into their campaign and what they stand for. Because that's what we're about. We're not, they want to make us into criminals. They want, which is why they started off with the far right nonsense. Yeah. Because it's easy to say we're a bunch of racists, but, you have brown people stood alongside you like me, so it doesn't work. It doesn't wash the same. Then they want to make us out into some sort of rabble and some sort of criminals. We're not. None of us are criminals, and let's not make them into criminal. Make them, make us into criminals.
I quite like being a rabble, though.
Or we can be a rabble, and the world has become a better place because of the rabble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, do you know what? I'm not going to give. And I know
don't give him the satisfaction. Don't give him the satisfaction.
I'm not going to give Sean Fielding and Andy Burnham the satisfaction of being bullies, because that's what they are, and arrest me tonight, because I know for a fact that I know that they are going to arrest me tonight. And you know what? I've got responsibilities. I've got family, and I've got my dogs, and I've got my own health. And the thought of them locking me in a cell for God knows how many hours when I've got spondylosis in my spine, that's not doing anything.
No, and it's not that. You know what this is about? And my inbox is full of shit, and I'll say that word shit. It's full of shit from people with all sorts of nonsense because they want to distract away. And we're not interested in 500 different things. We're interested in something very simple. Justice for our children and cleaning up the corruption in our town. Now, if the police officers, and I know, I send a plea out to the police officers. If you're being, you cannot continue to use the excuse, I'm just doing my job. It didn't wash with the Nazis. It didn't wash with the Nazis. That defense does not wash.
No.
Right? Because you've been sent out to intimidate a disabled grandmother at the request, at the instructions of a politician. Yeah. And the town sees that. The entire town sees that.
They all saw it last night, Roger. They all saw it last night. And unfortunately for them police officers, I'm going to make an official complaint today.
And so you should. And so you should.
I'm going to make an official complaint because as far as I am concerned, that is intimidation. And the mere fact that they came to my house last night to intimidate me already tells me that my voice has already been heard.
And you've won. We've won. You know, we won. The moment we made our stand and we said we will not remain silent whilst our children are being groomed and gang raped, we won.
No, but this Sean Fielding, because he'll be watching. Let me get it in the thing. This Sean Fielding.
Hold on, I'll put you on full. Like, just give me a second so you don't need to see me. There you go.
Yeah. This Sean Fielding is going through every door in Failsworth.
And let's be honest, the leader of Oldham Council, who is now hiding behind the skirts of his girlfriend and using the police as his own personal security, is also using the Labour Party lawyers as his own personal lawyers to defend him. You know, that's what he's doing elsewhere. This scumbag, this absolute vile human being, he is a proven liar.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's a proven liar. And his political career is over. You know why his political career is over? Because the entire country knows that Sean Fielding, Jim McMahon, and all the rest of the Labour Party lot in Oldham are not just paedophile protectors, they have a unhealthy relationship with gangsters.
Yeah, they do. Do you know what they're doing, Raj? They've been doing this week. This is how frightened they are of losing votes. They've sent a welcome to Keir Starmer flyers out all around Failsworth with an application form for you to fill in, for you to get your postal vote.
Of course it's about postal votes because, you know, these people just want, you know, they're just corrupt. Now, I'm just going to put something up by this man called Stephen Partington. I don't know Stephen Partington, but Stephen, get stuffed. Get stuffed, lad. All right? The police are being manipulated and exploited and they need to be called to task for what they are doing here. Okay? No one is attempting to bring justice to its knees. Maybe you'll turn your back whilst your daughters or your granddaughters are gang raped. Muppet.
Roger,
go away.
Roger. Right. Listen, we all now know it's very, very obvious now from what's happened to me this past week, being served with papers and then in the county courts and then them turning up at my door, that the police are being, whether they like it or not, they are being told what to do. Whether we like it or not, they are. They are being told what to do, right? And so, therefore, I've got family members that are in Greater Manchester Police. And I'm telling you now, they're not scum. They're not. They're hard-working family people.
Of course they are, Debbie. But how dare that policeman turn up to your door pretending to be nice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pretending to be nice, and somehow he's being decent. He was neither nice nor decent. He was there to try and scare you. He was there to try and scare you.
He would have come inside and then he would have intimidated me and threatened me with, if you turn up tomorrow night, you'll get a public order, section 42, whatever bullshit. You know, that's
Debbie. I came on. I didn't know you were going to call in properly. I came on. I spoke to you 10 minutes beforehand because you called me. I've been trying to call you since this morning, and I'm imploring you. I'm imploring everyone else. Don't go to his house tonight. Don't protest outside his doors. The police are clearly instructed, as far as I can tell, to arrest all of you, throw you in prison, trump up a series of charges, and all it will do is take away from our cause. And our cause isn't the right to protest. Our cause is justice for our children.
You know, yesterday I contacted the police regarding me being shared on Facebook and me now being put on the internet and what have you. And do you know what the reply is? Well, there's nothing we can do about that. You need to
and that's the thing. So clearly the police are out of order, right? I know of victims, 3 months it's been, and the police know this, 3 months, right? I have had death threats. And you're saying, when was this death threat issued? What specific date and time? Has he said anything else? No. The police know the reason the police aren't going and arresting these people is they're all linked to the Labour Party. This town is rotten. This town is rotten, and the police either do their jobs and arrest these criminals, because that's what they are, or the police find themselves on the wrong side of history as this plays out, because we will write to the Home Secretary. We will escalate this, and we will escalate this. And in the end, as the police know, none of us are the criminals.
No. So the police now are they're literally on the balance here now. It's like, right, do we do our job, or do we carry on whimpering to these politicians? And Liverpool thought that, and look what's happened there. The police have come down like a ton of bricks, and they've arrested that mayor. So the police now, they really do need to focus on, they joined the police force to serve the people. Now, that doesn't mean serve the politicians.
No,
now,
and sorry, I know, and Gary's up there. I've put Gary's post up there, and Gary's he's one of ours. His wife's a copper.
Right,
Gary, I know it's difficult. But the police officer should not have turned up to her door. He should have said, I am not going and harassing a disabled grandmother because she's standing against the grooming and gang rape of our children. 2 of them, yeah?
There was 2 of them. One stood at the gate, and him that stood at the door, which I didn't allow in.
No, we've already won, Debbie. And we now know, we didn't before. We were hoping the police would play with a straight bat, but we now know the police have been mobilised to protect the paedophile protectors.
Yeah. So for anybody that's turning up tonight, stay at home. It's a crappy night. You know what? I'd rather watch Fred and Gordon and Gino at 9 o'clock trying to find the North Pole. I'm staying home.
Thank you, Debbie. That's all I wanted. Thank you. And everyone else, please stay at home and don't get yourself arrested.
This is going through every door in Failsworth.
Gary wants to say something, but I've not got Gary's phone number. You've got Gary. Will you give him that link? Send him that link, and he wants to phone me or
on here. I don't know how I can do it.
All right, Gary. Well, Gary, phone me, and I'll connect you to the. Have you
got him on Facebook, Raj? If you got him on Facebook, you'll be able to send him the link.
No, I have, but it's too complicated from where I am.
All you need to do is put up the messenger from you.
Debbie, I'm laughing because when I started this, I had no idea how to use any of this, and I still don't have any idea how to use any of this. Let me.
I know.
No, I can't.
You get a messenger up between me and you. The link's there, and all you need to do then is forward it.
Okay, I've copied the link. Hold on, I don't know if I've got him as a friend on Messenger. Just give me a second.
You've got him on Messenger. You're all right. You're doing good, Raj.
Hold on, he's phoned in, so let's see if this works. Gary.
You're doing really good.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Hello.
No.
I can hear you.
Ah, perfect,
Yes,
Gary. Sorry, Gary. It was just my. I had the wrong slider turned down.
Yeah, you don't know your buttons yet, do you, Raj?
Do I heck?
How you doing? All right.
How you doing, Gary?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Obviously, just tuning to your show, and I'm seeing a lot of.
Oh, it's not that, Gary. I woke up at 6 a.m, Gary, and I fell asleep at 3 a.m. with a combination of worried people, worried for Debbie, yeah. But her friends and people who genuinely care about her, worried for her. I've had conversations with senior people in the civil service and people who know me, who are very clear and telling me that this is a tried and tested tactic of trying to shut down, protest.
Yep.
And try and lure people into a trap and have them arrested and then get them caught up on the in the CPS sort of stuff, in the courts and tie their hands.
Yep.
So and then I'm seeing Debbie and others encouraging Debbie to go out. And I'm not having that. I can't sit quietly, Gary. She needs to. She needs to not go. She needs to not go.
Totally agree with that. And I've been sat there. I've been talking to people this morning whether I should turn up or not. I want to because of what he's done, I want to be there by her side. So when she looks at me, like, I'm stood there with her.
Yeah.
However, I can't afford to spend a night in prison because of what they've threatened. Because I've got a kid to take to school.
Yeah.
My wife's got to book on duty. She can't do that if I'm not here. So I've been tearing myself apart where to go, not to go.
You shouldn't go, Gary. Yeah.
I won't. You're right. Wise words. And wise words to everybody else. Not to. You fall into the trap. And that's what they want. They'll lure you in, they'll get you, and they'll discredit you. However, what I want to say is, with regards to the police force, yes, there are some bent coppers who have been throughout history. There's some bloody good coppers.
Yeah,
right?
there are.
And having is not going to do anything for our cause. All right? They're under command. As I was a soldier under command, and if I disobeyed command, I was put into a prison in the army camp or charged or taking money off me, punished some other way. Obviously, police officers, you just get warning and sacked. There are some good coppers, okay, and they want the truth to come out. I'm on a lot of websites, so is my wife. She speaks to a lot of ex-coppers who are disgusting what's going on at the highest level.
Every policeman I know, Gary, every police officer I know is disgusted by what is taking place. Every police officer I know is ashamed that the politicians, are standing alongside or are silent regarding the support of someone who helped kill 2 police officers. Every police officer I know is that. And my issue isn't that. My issue, I looked at that police officer that attended Debbie. Sorry, and I get that. I get they're doing a job. I get that. But at some point, Gary, we need to call out these police officers and say, please, don't take part in
They have got to make a stand.
Debbie, yes, they do. But there comes a time when in society and in history where that will happen at some point. At the moment, our focus is on the ones that decide on the burning, the side of the government. They're the ones who are taking policy and moving it down.
I know full well as you do, Gary. I know full well. I've said it right at the beginning. These instructions are coming from high up. Yeah?
Yeah.
You'll see in the text that accompanies this screen.
We have a small fringe voice at the moment.
Yes.
Growing. And that's how they see us, okay? We're not important. We're not on the telly. We're not on the radio. We're not, getting a voice further out towards Oldham and Greater Manchester. So at the moment, we're like early Christians flipping a cult. That's how they see us, how they want to portray us, talking nonsense. All right?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, they're not going to listen to me, Debbie, at the moment, because all they hear us doing is shouting and going on Facebook. And as long as they're spinning that, saying that we're a bunch of white-wing racists and whatever, gammons and all the rest of it, it will continue until eventually enough momentum grows within our cause and we start exposing them for what they've done, properly, factually, showing it and presenting it. But like Steve Parson, he's ex-copper. Well, be wise, all right? And they'll take offence and they'll react like he did online. And he's a nice lad. He's a Latin fan. I've seen him at football. He knows Laura. He's looked after Laura. He took her under the wing. And we've just got to be careful. We don't want to alienate police officers because there are a lot of good ones in the police force.
I have nothing but respect for every one of my friends that has decided to pursue a career in the police force. And what they put up with is, I couldn't do it, Gary. I couldn't do it. My issue isn't with the frontline police officers. It never has been. My issue is with, right from the beginning, the police force in our country, and I'll put myself back up on for this, Debbie, so people can see me. The police force in our country should not be under the control of Andy Burnham or any other politician. The police force should be independent of that, because for a democracy to work, we need 4 elements to it. We need an independent and free press that holds, people to account, which our press doesn't. We need a judiciary that, passes judgment without fear or favour. We need a police force that upholds the law, and we need politicians that stand for the people. And we haven't got that, because the politicians in our town control all of that. They control all 4 elements of that.
Yeah, I agree. It started Theresa May when she was Home Secretary.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
So much that they left by the nose because the morale was so low. And all the bloody good ones have left. Same with the NHS, same with the armed forces, same with the fire brigade. Only the fire brigade fought back and did well. they've hit the public sector. They've smashed it. And the cops now, they're miserable. The morale is so low, and they hate the fact that
and Gary
are not trained well enough.
And Gary, I've seen the police officers aren't trained. I've seen the the de-skilling of the police force. I've witnessed it firsthand, as I have in other services. It's disgraceful. But what took place last night, Gary? Sorry, Gary. What took place last night, and what Debbie has endured, is nothing other than intimidation and harassment by the police.
I get it. I'm not disagreeing with that fact for one. So I just want to put another spin on them two coppers that came and sat in their armchair. I got the feeling they didn't want to be there. They had to be there. They had to be because they were being told. You just got to take that nuance with it and just think maybe he actually agreed to Debbie, but he's got to do it. Same as that chap last night. He came. He tried to be as nice as possible. You could take that as being a slime, or you could take that as being actually without causing.
No, Gary. Because I'm with you up to a point on that. I'm with you up to a point on that. And my point where I'm not with you on that is when they threaten and intimidate her and misrepresent the law. Because then they've crossed the line, and that's what the copper did who sat in her house, and I put that video up. The guy who came and sat in her house alluded that she'd broken the law and all sorts of other stuff. And then Debbie forced it out of him. That she hadn't broken the law. And what he said is, no, you've not broken the law yet. So if you haven't broken the law yet, what on earth is an overstretched police force doing with two officers in your living room?
With you all the way with that, Roger. Yeah. City Patel has said that with 80,000 unreported crimes, but yet they're using resources and manpower to go and intimidate Debbie. And another lad who won't mention on here, but we know who he is, and probably more than you know. I expected to probably knock on my bloody door last night. I said, hello, what would you do? We'd let them in, we'd shut the door on them.
I'd let them in. I mean, for me, it's really simple. I have my issue isn't with the frontline police officers, but my issue and my call to frontline police officers is, we are all watching. We are all witnessing what you're doing. Yeah. You cannot remain silent inside the police force, police service, whatever, and follow out what are clearly instructions to harass and intimidate members of the public on behalf of corrupt politicians.
Yeah. My call to Greater Manchester Police is please do the job that you wanted to work for. Your passion in being a police officer was to serve the people, and I'm calling on Greater Manchester Police. Stop doing what they're asking you to do and do the right thing.
Just uphold the law. That's all we're asking them to do. Yeah.
Exactly. I get you.
Gary, you're probably.
I'm not trying to distract from anything.
No, it's all right, Gary. No, it's not. And I mean, just to give you some context and give everyone else some context, whilst they seem to have plenty of resources to harass and intimidate Debbie, we know there's over 1,100 people that have signed a petition calling for the arrest of Sean Fielding for blatantly committing a number of crimes. And do you know what, Gary?
Yep.
The police are dragging their heels, not taking statements. The last I heard, Gary, and your wife's a police officer, and she'll laugh at this, the last I heard was the statement they took from one of the victims was a draft statement. They came and took a signature and took a draft statement. I've never heard of anything so ridiculous in my life.
No, right. No, it's scandalous.
Yeah. So this is my call, and that's it. So Debbie, happy. Gary, thanks for calling in. And sorry, my issue is not the frontline police officers at all. My issue is those that control the police. And if I have a call to the frontline police officers, it's refuse to intimidate people, refuse to harass people. Would you, if someone told you as a police officer, take your baton out and beat that person up, they've done nothing but annoyed one of the politicians, would you? You wouldn't. No. I'd like to think a police officer, anyone I knew as a police officer, would look at the commanding officer and say, get stuffed. I'm not going and beating that disabled granny up just because Sean Fielding doesn't like what she's got to say about him. And it's no different here.
They've got a choice. They've got a choice, won't do it. Those that are a bit, I don't know, bat and happy will get stuck in. And we have seen that.
Yeah,
We've
of course
seen that
we
in
have.
all walks of life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway.
Debbie, last words for you, please, to everyone else who is going out or planning on going out.
Stay at home, kids. Brian Horbin is our hero, and he's going to fight for us tonight at the full council meeting. So I'm going to stay home and watch Brian Horbin and support Brian Horbin tonight. I'm not going to give Oldham, Greater Manchester Police the opportunity to arrest me, because Sean Fielding will be sat there going, go on, arrest her. Well, Sean, not tonight, kid. Not
Thank
tonight.
you, Debbie. Bye. Thank you.
Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.